Hey everyone and welcome to English Podcast Lab. I'm your host, Mark. Today, we're going to talk about a memorable experience for many, taking your first flight. For some, the idea of soaring through the sky is exhilarating, filled with anticipation for a new adventure. For others, it might bring about a mix of excitement and perhaps a little bit of nervousness about the unknown. Whether you're in the first group or the second, the experience of a first flight is often a significant milestone. This is also a fantastic topic that can even come up in IELTS speaking test. You might be asked to describe a memorable journey or a time you felt nervous, and your first flight certainly fits the bill. Being able to articulate your feelings, the process, and the impact of this experience can showcase your narrative skills and vocabulary related to travel and emotions. Thinking back to that first time the plane took off, that powerful acceleration down the runway, the feeling of being pushed back in your seat, and then the incredible moment when the wheels left the ground. It's a sensation unlike any other. Looking out the window and seeing the world shrink below, the houses becoming like tiny blocks, and eventually being surrounded by clouds. It's truly breathtaking. Perhaps you were glued to the window, in awe of the panoramic views, or maybe you were a little apprehensive, focusing on the safety announcements. Everyone's first flight experience is unique. Navigating the airport for the first time can also be an adventure in itself. From checking in your luggage and going through security to finding your gate and understanding the boarding process, it's a series of new procedures. You might have felt a bit disoriented, or maybe you found the whole process quite straightforward. Did you carefully read your boarding pass to ensure you were at the right place at the right time? Were you fascinated by the hustle and bustle of the airport, the constant movement of people and planes? During the flight itself, there are many new sensations to experience. The subtle pressure changes during ascent and descent, the feeling of turbulence, the announcements from the cabin crew, it all adds to the novelty of the experience. Maybe you enjoyed the in-flight meal, or perhaps you spent the time reading, watching a movie, or simply gazing out at the clouds. The perspective you gain from thousands of feet above the ground is truly remarkable and can leave a lasting impression. For the IELTS speaking test, when discussing your first flight, you could describe the build-up to the trip, your feelings at the airport, the moment of takeoff, your impressions of being in the air, and how the experience made you feel overall. Using descriptive language and vocabulary related to travel, emotions, and sensory experiences will enhance your response and demonstrate a strong command of English. You might talk about overcoming any initial apprehension or the sense of wonder you felt. Your first flight is often the beginning of a journey, both literally and figuratively. It can open up a world of possibilities for travel and exploration, leaving you with memories that last a lifetime. Vocabulary breakdown. Now, let's explore some key vocabulary related to first flights. First flight. Noun phrase, the first time a person travels by airplane. Example, my first flight was a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Took off. Phrasal verb, of an aircraft, become airborne. Example, the plane took off smoothly despite the windy conditions. Breathtaking. Adjective, extremely exciting, beautiful, or surprising. Example, the view of the mountains from the airplane window was absolutely breathtaking. In awe. Adjective, phrase, filled with feelings of deep respect, wonder, or fear. Example, I was in awe of the vast ocean stretching out below us. Disoriented. Adjective, confused about one's surroundings, direction, or time. Example, navigating the large airport for the first time left me feeling a little disoriented. Boarding pass. Noun, a card showing that a person has paid for a flight and is allowed to board the aircraft. Example, make sure to keep your boarding pass readily accessible for inspection. Ascent. Noun, the action of rising to a higher altitude. Example, during the initial ascent, there was a slight pressure change in my ears. Descent. Noun, an act of moving downwards, dropping, or falling. Example, the pilot announced the beginning of our descent into Jakarta. Cabin crew. Noun phrase, the staff who work on an aircraft during a flight and are responsible for the safety and comfort of passengers. Example, the cabin crew provided excellent service throughout the flight. Impression. Noun, an idea, feeling, or opinion about something or someone, especially one formed without conscious thought or on the basis of little evidence. Example, my first flight left a lasting impression of the vastness of the world. Apprehension. Noun, anxiety or fear that something bad or unpleasant will happen. Example, despite my initial apprehension, the flight turned out to be very smooth. Well, that brings us to the end of our journey through the experience of a first flight here on English Podcast Lab. We hope this episode has not only brought back some memories for those of you who have flown before, but also provided valuable language and insights for those anticipating their first time in the air. Remember, every journey begins with a single step, or in this case, a single flight. Thank you for joining me on English Podcast Lab. Until our next adventure in language learning, keep your spirits high and your horizons broad.